Peace, infinite waters diving deep once again. Who's to blame? Who's responsible for my condition on this planet? Who did it? Who made me feel like this? Who's responsible? And this question, I feel, runs through so many of our heads. We're always looking for someone to take the blame. And so many of us are walking around with a chip on our shoulder. Even at a time through my journey, I used to feel that it's not my responsibility, it's someone else's. And I just look at it like this. A lot of us, you have people, the greatest, in my mind, the fundamental problem with our human existence is that we feel separate from everything around us. Whenever we feel separate from everything around us, then we have to point the finger. But whenever you point one finger, you've got four pointing back at you. And for me, that's the only way I can become empowered these days, is to realize that I have to take personal responsibility. Even if I didn't do anything, I have to assume responsibility. Because that way we're empowered to actually act. We can actually do something. We're not actually being this victim who is being kicked around all over the place. And because one thing I realized, that of course you go around, you talk to some people, you hear their life stories, and a lot of times it will shock a lot of people, you know, what some people have gone through. But at the same time, they have this inner strength. But at the same time, you also have a lot of people who are still holding on to this energy, this negative energy, and it's really destroying them. Of course, they've been mistreated, but what happens is that whenever you have the victim consciousness mentality, you're actually living in stagnation, because you're just like the caterpillar. You can't move anywhere because you're a victim. You give yourself that label. The butterfly is the one who says, okay, I'm not a victim anymore. I'm taking personal responsibility to move away. The victim mentality is always focusing in on what's just happened. It's always about ruminating. And of course, the more and more people actually realize, of course, people have a right to be angry. It's like when I was just entering this state of awakening a long time ago, I was furious. I said, okay, these people are to blame. And then I realized, no, they're not to blame. I have to take some responsibility. I kept myself asleep. I didn't want to see. And that's what happens a lot of the times. Many of us, when we look at the word responsibility, what does it mean? Responding to our ability. So therefore, everyone has a different responsibility, because essentially everyone is responding to their ability differently. But when we talk of personal responsibility, it can only start with us. And for me, it's the most empowering thing when we realize that we are actually, we're steering this vehicle. And everything is based on our perception, how we see the world. We can't change what happens to us, but we can only change how we react to it and our attitude towards it. But it's all tied in together. So, personal responsibility. I'm not a saint, I'm not perfect. You know, but I'm just saying this even within my own journey, that is something which I'm really looking at more and more, to say, okay, I have to take personal responsibility, because no one else is going to do that for me. Infinite waters, enjoying the sunshine. Peace.